Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my commenting girlfriend, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's August 16th, 1997. And I think I excel at pissing you off before we go on the air.
Yeah, you do have a talent for it, I gotta say.
It's one of the few things that I'm really good at.
Oh, you're good at a couple other things.
Ooh.
Just a couple.
All right, well, I'll take it. That's all any man really wants to be good at anyway. So this week we've got, it's my favorite week of the year, he said snarkily, referring to something he fucking hates. I'm narrating my life now.
Wow.
The Woodward Dream Crew. Carol.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
If you live anywhere near Woodward, if you live anywhere near Royal Oak, it's a fucking nightmare.
It's a shit show. The amount of traffic is insane.
So I believe this is the second or third official year that they're doing it, with all the people on the, I don't even know, on sidewalk, on the, the median, like over to the side of Woodward Avenue, selling all their baubles, buy this stuff that's 60s themed or, whatever. It's a big nostalgia convention for stuff that's 25 years old and older.
Or more.
Yeah, just so dumb.
Yeah, who cares about 25 years ago? Like, come on.
It's a fucking traffic jam.
That's all it is. Ugh. And, Woodward's busy enough without this bullshit.
Yeah, I know some people that work at Beaumont Hospital, which is... these are some good local references for you people that don't live around us. But they work at Beaumont Hospital, which is right on the other side of Woodward Avenue, and getting to work is just a nightmare.
Woodward, just so you understand, has two lanes of... there's a one-way, a median, and another way. It's an 8-lane road.
Yeah, it's a divided road. Yeah.
It's huge. So, just so you understand, it's not we're not just whining here. This is serious shit.
And it gets jam-packed. I'm not really a car guy, so that's a part of it too. But, for every cool-looking old car there's 3 station wagons.
Right?
So, but anyway, so up in Pontiac by the Phoenix Center, 5:30 p.m. early cruising, 6:30 local groups entertaining the 5th District by the 5th District Court Building. Let's see, there's a car show. Mitch Ryder is going to be there. What else? Anything cool? DJ Boogie Bryan. The Twist and Tarantulas are playing at Clutch Cargo's. WOMC 104.3 is going to be there. That's the oldies station. The Spinners are going to be there. Down in Birmingham, let's see what's going on down there. There's going to be a car display and automotive vendors. By the Birmingham Theater is going to be playing Grease. That's kind of fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see.
104.3, I remember listening to that all the time when I was a kid with my parents.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Their jams.
The 50s and 60s stuff? Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Taste of Royal Oak at the Royal Oak restaurants. Nothing, and then they go down into Berkeley and Huntington Woods. But, nothing that exciting going on there. But, yeah, the Woodward Dream Cruise is not... So I will often, and you know this, they don't know this, I'll go and visit friends in other places, in other states. I have friends that live in Nevada, I have friends that live in Louisiana, I have friends
friends in low places.
Yeah, for sure. Louisiana's quite a low place. The major city built below sea level, that's real smart thinking there, right by Gulf of Mexico,
right,
where hurricanes come through. Fingers crossed for all of you in New Orleans that you never get hit by a huge hurricane. But yeah, so I've got friends that live in a bunch of different places, right? Mm-hmm. And oftentimes I will schedule my vacations to go see those people around the Dream Cruise now. Like, the Dream Cruise like late August. That's when I'm taking my vacation.
Yeah, time to GTFO.
Right. What does that mean? GTFO.
Get the fuck out.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thanks, I just came up with it.
Well, how about this? This is something I just came up with. There's a comedy that looks at the gay porn biz.
Whoa.
Yeah. Making Porn, it's called. It's a Broadway-style show, right? Mm-hmm. Making Porn on stage at 1515 Broadway.
Oh. This is a porn Broadway show. So, like, are they having sex and singing on stage? Is that how this is going? Am I getting the right picture here?
Yeah, it's just a guy, and as soon as the other guy enters, oh! That's how most gay porn goes, I think. I don't know. We'll find out together. Making Porn on stage at 1515 Broadway is further proof that a fella doesn't need to drink, smoke, and go out with girls to have a good time. Just when you were worried that the rich wit implicit in the male porn film industry was not getting its just due, artistically speaking, along comes this stage comedy about gay sex films' worst producer director. Making Porn, the theatrical connoisseur will observe, is even understated. Huh. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what you just said.
That sentence makes no sense. Did this author have a stroke halfway through writing this?
That writer needs to get fired. Sorry, dude.
That is, it does not have an ostentatious costume budget, just some wraparound towels. Very clean, that's good. A smart pair of black leather shorts, cut-off jeans with saucy peekaboo horizontal strips across the seat. That sort of couture.
Okay.
As drama goes, however, forget it. Playwright Ronnie Larson is deft at what an erotically disinterested viewer might recognize as niche marketing. Making Porn is gay fast food. 2 quick hours of retching laughs from an intrinsically non-humorous situation. It plays like Max Bialystok's next worst idea after he sold Leopold Bloom on Springtime for Hitler.
Holy shit.
That musical romp with Adolf Hitler and Eva in Berchtesgaden, which is a reference to The Producers, a Broadway show created by Mel Brooks, wherein they create the worst play ever because they figure out that if they make a bomb, that they'll make a bunch of money on it.
I'm curious about this. I think we should see it.
It sounds weird. So it's a comedy about the gay porn industry.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'd be willing to see it. It seems odd.
Yeah, it seems different, though. Like, I mean, we go to concerts all the time. We haven't been to anything like this.
It's like Zima. It's something different.
Right. You know what else is something different?
What?
South Park.
Oh, yeah. We watched the premiere episode of South Park.
I'm not sure. Like, it made me laugh a ton. Like, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny.
But I'm just still not sure if I like it. Like, I like it because it's funny, but it pulls on that dark part of me.
Yeah.
And, like, I worry about, like, children. Because, you know, you make these animated shows and then you make them raunchy. Like, what if kids are like, oh, cartoon, and they want to sit down and watch it, and then they see, you know, things coming out of kids' butts.
So, it seemed somewhat innocuous to me, but I mean, I guess a little bit.
Innocuous?
A little bit. So it's not The Simpsons, which I guess is, you know, whatever they consider the gold standard or whatever for this kind of stuff.
Right.
The Simpsons is satirical and bent in a slight way but still, and even though they use bad words sometimes,
They really don't, though.
But
they use suggestive of bad words.
Yeah, that's true. But for the most part, it still could be for kids. It's a little more. It's kind of like family oriented, I suppose.
Yeah, it's for everybody.
This is not. This is more in the vein of Beavis and Butthead. I guess, or that Aeon Flux.
Do you think they did enough though to let people know that? That's my concern. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess you figured it out pretty quick though.
There's a warning at the beginning of it, which I think
that's true.
Is kind of funny. Where they talk about how that, it's not any person's living or dead. It's a big disclaimer, I guess.
A funny disclaimer. But you go to hell and you die. Or no. Yeah?
Yeah, that's what he says. So the show concerns 4 elementary school students, I guess.
I think so.
In South Park, Colorado.
Maybe middle school. I think it was middle school.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But they're, I can't remember all their names, but there's... Cartman.
Kenny.
Yeah, who dies.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll be back. I mean, he seemed like a main character.
My guess is this. They'll do one of 2 things for comedic purposes. Either it's just funny to them to have a main character die in the first episode, and then he's gone. But I don't think they're going to do that. The thing I think that they actually will do that I think will be kind of funny is if they kill him in every episode.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
If he dies in every single episode.
Yeah, I mean, watching him get killed this episode, you just keep thinking he's going to make it, and he doesn't. It's
yeah, and then at one point he gets shot by aliens, and then he gets trampled by cows running away from aliens, and his buddy.
Then he gets run over, right?
Yeah, by the sheriff. Yeah, his buddy comes over. Not Kenny. What's the other one?
I don't know. There's Cartman, Kenny. Yeah, Stan.
Kyle.
Okay.
Kyle comes over and he's dead, Cartman, and he pulls his head off his body, and then rats start coming to eat him.
Ugh. Yeah, it goes a little far sometimes. Or when they're on the school bus and they're saying bitch all the time and stuff.
Yeah. Well, what about when Cartman is talking about his
cheesy poops?
His cat, and he says to his mom, "Kitty's being a dildo."
Yeah, I didn't like that.
She goes, "Then I know some kitty that's going to sleep with mommy tonight."
That's gross. That's gross. I mean, you don't say something like that in front of your kid.
It was funny to me. I laughed. That was one of my big laugh moments.
That was one of my I can't believe they put this on television moments.
So, it is on cable. It's on Comedy Central. So that makes a difference.
Yeah.
You have to have cable in order to see it, and some people haven't leapt into the 80s yet, so they don't have cable.
Right.
Like your mom.
Right.
Anyway, so it's interesting. I thought it was really funny, like you. There was a little bit of, because there's a lot of farting.
Yeah, I don't like the fart
jokes. A lot
jokes.
Of kind of a little more gross humor, and that's not really my type of humor. I like more dry humor, sarcasm, stuff like that. But I think it was well written enough that I'm definitely going to give it another chance. It's created by 2 guys named Matt Stone and Trey Parker. I think I matched the first names to the last names correctly.
Good job. You get a cookie.
But so they I guess are former Mormons. I was reading some news about them.
Well, that makes sense. They've got a lot of repressed anger, probably, that they're letting out here.
Well, I think they're from Colorado, too. So it's I don't think South Park's a real city. I think they just made that city up. But because there's Park City, Colorado. So maybe it's kind of based on that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because I'm not sure exactly where they're from. But, it seems interesting. Isaac Hayes is in the cast as their chef at their school.
He's hilarious.
And then he just starts singing like one of his typical, romantic Isaac Hayes songs.
but totally inappropriate to be singing to a child.
I'm gonna make love to you, woman.
Yeah, inappropriate.
But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I definitely want to watch the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, we can watch the next episode. I'm just saying, like, I'm torn because of all the gross humor, but it was really fucking funny anyway.
It was really good. I think it's funnier than The Simpsons is right now.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take much at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, The Simpsons is getting a little old.
Yeah, they're going to have to stop that shit
It's been
soon.
almost 10 years.
Right?
They've been on the air.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah. But speaking of letting it go, we watched a movie today where
Yeah, we almost didn't.
Jennifer Aniston needs to let go of her ideals. I don't know.
We had a whole debate in the theater about what movie to see.
In the theater while we were
I won.
while we were in the movie theater.
Oh, well, we were buying our tickets. What the fuck?
While we were outside of the theater, whatever.
What?
In the lobby.
Semantics. Does it matter?
Yes. Well, we talked about Copland. We talked about Event Horizon. Mm-hmm. I later went and saw Event Horizon with my buddy Mike.
Because he has to get his way.
Well, I liked the movie.
I wanted to see Jennifer Aniston because I like Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston, Friends Own.
So we saw Jennifer Aniston in Picture Perfect. And I got to say something.
With Jason Moore.
Her hair has gotten so much better since the beginning. Like, the beginning of Friends, she had that, like, short, like, I don't know, poofy hair.
They called it the Rachel.
Yeah. And I got that stupid haircut because I thought it was cool at the time. But now I want to copy her hair again because it actually looks good.
Yeah, I think her hair looked good.
Like, it's like a little bit longer. It's layered, but not quite so much. Like, it's perfect. I want it. It's shiny.
Welcome to Hair Talk.
Just saying, her hair looks nice.
What about Kevin Bacon's hair?
Kevin Bacon looks like a pig.
He does.
It's so weird.
He's got a weird nose. That's why.
And no, his hair's awful. It's from the 80s. Like, he has not updated his look since the 80s, or maybe even the 70s.
It's still Footloose time for him,
right? I don't
not
like
the
it.
70s though. He's not that old.
I don't know. He was pretty old.
But he's not he wasn't a movie star in the 70s.
Just saying, his haircut has never changed.
Well, I don't know about never changed, but yeah, I mean, it seems like he's been growing his hair since he got to Hollywood.
He's got like that feathered, that's 70s hair. It's feathered.
I'm not saying it's not 70s hair, and obviously he was alive in the 70s. He just wasn't a star in the 70s.
I think he had that haircut when he started. I think he had that haircut in the 70s before he was known.
Well, the first big movie that he was in was?
What?
It was in 1980. It was...
Oh, Friday the 13th.
Yeah, he was in the original Friday the 13th.
Wow.
He gets that Tom Savini arrowhead through his neck. Really cool. Apparently, the way they do it is they shove it's fake latex or whatever, but they shove the arrowhead through there, and then there's someone with a straw blowing the blood, so the blood like bubbles up. Really cool practical effects. But yeah, he was in that. He was in the original Friday the 13th, and then obviously he became a household name in Footloose, which I think was 84.
Was his hair feathered in Friday the 13th? Am I right?
His hair was longer in Friday the 13th, yes, and it was probably feathered-y because that, that 1980s came out. That's, late 70s style.
Right.
That informed a lot of early 80s stuff. So yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's ugly. I don't mean to be totally mean here, but I do.
Don't pull any punches.
Well, no, it's just like people seem to think he's hot.
I've got a surprise for you, Carol. Surprise guest, Kevin Bacon.
Right.
Oh, he's crying.
I just don't understand. It's like he's supposed to be some kind of fucking sex symbol, and he is not.
Yeah.
I mean, like in Flatliners, he got together with Julia Roberts.
Yeah, he did.
And that didn't make sense to me either. She would have done better with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland's better looking.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon's less of an alcoholic. But Oh, a special guest, Kiefer Sutherland. I'm sorry. Have another drink, Kiefer. Relax. So, allegedly. So, yeah, well, I said that to you. I said Kevin Bacon's supposed to be her love interest. I don't see him with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
And
you're right.
And I don't. But I guess her and Jason Give Me More makes more sense. No pun intended.
Is that the blonde guy that she ends up with? Yeah. Okay.
The evil agent from Jerry Maguire.
Oh, yeah. You know what's so funny? Like, character matters, because I didn't think he was attractive in Jerry Maguire at all.
Yeah.
But he was attractive in this movie, and it's because he was playing a nice guy.
Is he attractive because one of his big introduction moments is that he literally saves a child's life?
Right.
Like, they go out of their way to make this a fucking saint of a character.
Yeah.
He's giving an interview, and he's like, oh, you were running out of the church or whatever that was burning, and then you heard a child or whatever, or he just went to look to see that make sure there was no one in there, and he found a child by the vending machine. And he's like, and then you jumped out of the third-story window, and you jumped back first. Why did you do that? And he was like, because I thought that if we hit the ground, that my back would break the child's fall.
I don't think that it's realistic that he could have gone back first out of a third-story window and only have hurt his arm.
Well, it's very subtle, but the guy on the TV that's interviewing him says something like, well, I'd feel shaken up if an awning was the only thing that saved me from so he must have landed on an awning which broke his fall a little bit. So he'd land on the awning, maybe the awning held him for a second, broke, and then he ended up not falling as far.
That makes sense. Okay. I'm glad that there was some kind of clarification there.
Right. But the basic plot of this movie is that Jennifer Aniston has been told that if you don't have crippling debt and a heterosexual life mate, then you're not going far in advertising.
Yeah, it's so weird. The guy was talking about you need to dress for the job you want, and I thought he was about to criticize her clothes, which I'm looking at her outfit thinking, it's a little young and hip for this crowd, but I didn't really think it was...
the Ileana, whatever, her best friend, she dressed a little more conservatively.
Yeah, she looked, 80s professional, in a nice suit coat with the shoulder pads.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Jennifer Aniston looked more, New York night. I could see Rachel wearing the outfit she was wearing. Right. Not wrong though. It wasn't a bad outfit.
Not Ross. I can't see Ross wearing it.
But then he's like, you need to have the house and the husband and the car and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's her whole life, not just the way she was dressed.
You need to live in a huge apartment in New York where you inexplicably can afford it.
Yeah, I did not like that man.
Well, I didn't like him at first, and then I don't like what they did with his character. Not because I think that he didn't turn out to be a nice guy, because I think he obviously turned out to be a nice guy at the end. Mm-hmm. But I don't think the character that's presented to us at the beginning of the movie matches the character that we see at the end of the movie.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, he's kind of, he goes from the villain to the saint, because in the beginning, not only did he criticize her like that, he also, she's the one that came up with their campaign slogan.
For this mustard.
And they
Which,
weren't
by the way, the catchphrase is number 2, and that ain't bad or something like that.
Yeah, but they got, Cindy Crawford in on it, so that was the main pitch here.
Right.
But he, I forgot what I was going to say.
So she came up with
he didn't invite her to be on the team.
Right.
How do you take her idea and make a team and not have her on it?
Well, because she didn't have the stuff.
It's such bullshit.
And the argument that he makes is ridiculous. Because he points to Kevin Bacon or whatever. He's talking like, oh, she's house poor and whatever. And then he's like, they all don't make sense, but this one makes my point the best, I think. He says to Kevin Bacon, he's like, he drives this, Mercedes
BMW
SL or whatever. I co-signed the loan for him. Happy to do it because, I know he needs this paycheck to keep making payments on that. And he says, and you're the only one here that's not encumbered by anything. So you could, why would I entrust you with a big client when there's nothing stopping you from leaving this job and maybe taking that big client with you to another ad agency? Which I guess I understand, although I would assume that when you work, I don't know anything about working in the ad industry, but I would assume that when you have a big job in the ad industry like this, there'd be some sort of contracts that you'd sign, non-compete clauses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't just steal clients.
I'm sure.
Because that's like corporate espionage or whatever, right? But let's say, apparently we don't live in that world in this movie, right? It doesn't make any sense that if he's got this crippling debt and he has a big client, why wouldn't the other ad company be like, we'll give you a bunch more money,
right?
And it'll make it easier for you to make these payments on your car if you bring yourself and all your clients over here. What?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I honestly, though,
this argument makes no sense.
The Kevin Bacon thing where he co-signed on his loan makes sense because he kind of, has his thumb on him in that way, I guess. Like, he needs him.
Yeah, but his broader point was he didn't co-sign on that woman's mortgage.
No, he didn't.
The broader point that he was making is because you're established or whatever, you have this life that you're supposed to have, that, and I guess that's what the movie's trying to say, is that not everyone needs to live the life, like you're supposed to do or whatever.
Right.
Although they don't go out of their way to make that point, really.
No.
It's sort of hinted here and there around the movie. But that's his point, is that, I know that they need this job for the money and all that stuff. And it's like, but why couldn't another ad company offer them more money?
Yeah.
Which would help them out. His argument doesn't hold any water to me.
Yeah, I agree. So she meets this dude at a wedding, and prior to this, the guy we were talking about falling out of a building and stuff.
Right.
And he's a wedding photographer and somehow
videographer.
Videographer, yes. And somehow they get their picture taken together. And
because they do one of the weirdest things. I guess they just wanted to skimp on having a photographer, because
they got these Polaroids.
The couples are like, there's Polaroid cameras in front of you. Feel free to take pictures. We want you to be our wedding photographers. Feel free to take pictures all over the place, and you can keep them. You can give them to other guests. You can save them, put them in the book or whatever for us, which is kind of a cute idea.
Yeah, I liked it. But how did her friend who wasn't at the wedding end up with the picture of the two of them?
I don't know. I think that I didn't see their picture get taken together, but I guess, he catches the garter.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that makes sense. There'd be a lot of pictures of them together because she caught the bouquet and he caught the garter.
And then, she gets handed the bouquet.
Yeah.
Because, poor, attractive, young Jennifer Aniston.
She's the only single person in this whole wedding.
She's the only single one there, so let's feel very sorry for her. And she gets handed the bouquet there.
Yeah, somebody literally pushed her out there, too. That was so awful.
So, yeah, I guess she just brought a picture of him back, maybe showed it to her friend.
Maybe she was like, hey, check out this hottie.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, Jay Moore, hottie. Check out this 1992 season Saturday Night Live rejects.
So, while she's pissed off and has left, her friend shows the boss the picture of the two of them and says, oh, she's marrying him. She's engaged to this guy. And so
She basically makes up the life that she knows the boss wants her to have.
Right. And so then he gives her a promotion. And he doesn't tell her, he tells her friend. Like, her friend is the one telling her about this. I think that's weird.
Well, her friend's like a manager or something. Her friend is above her in the company.
Okay. I guess it's not that weird then.
And she says, he asked if you have any nice dresses he hasn't seen at the office or whatever. She's like, what's that mean? And it's like, are you an adult? How do you not know what that means?
Like, yeah, buy a new dress.
Yeah. Which she does, which is a stunning dress.
Yeah, she looked really good.
She did.
Although, like,
I have not found Jennifer Aniston that attractive throughout the course of her friend's career so far. Just, she's not really my type or whatever, but she was good looking in this movie.
Yeah. Well, and this dress is very eye-catching. It's bright green, like lime green, like kind of, I don't know, you could see it in an 80s club. Anyway.
It's an 80s heavy episode.
Episode?
Yeah, of our show. We're referencing the 80s a lot.
So she has a crush on Kevin Bacon.
For some reason.
This was established. Like, she wants to be with him.
She also has a pet teacup pig. I don't know if there's any any correlation there. No, I'm just joking. She doesn't.
And he says that he likes bad girls and she's too much of a good girl for him or something.
That's what he says, yeah.
So at this party, she walks in this dress, which, by the way, I mean, while she looked really good, I felt like it was a little inappropriate for a work event because it showed a lot of boob.
Yeah, she did also say, she's like, I don't know what happened. I can't do her voice.
Yeah, she's like, there was more dress when I left the store.
Yeah. You guys. She's got that weird like voice where she, you know her voice.
Yeah. So Kevin Bacon sees her in this outfit and now thinks that she's engaged.
Right.
And he comes on to her and takes her out, and then they end up in bed together.
And they have sex, as she describes to her mother later, the dirty kind.
That's so weird.
It's such a weird thing to say to your mom.
She has a very unhealthy relationship with her mother.
Or her mom, yeah, it doesn't remind me of anything. Her mom calls her constantly.
Yeah.
And is like, what are you doing? Her mom's played by Olympia Dukakis, who is just an absolute treasure of an actress.
She is. And they look so much alike. Like, they really look like mother and daughter.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. But she's like screaming at her and everything. She's like, where were you? I didn't know where you were. And, I called your place and everything. And she's like...
well, back it up, though, that Jennifer Aniston fucking called... She called her from Kevin Bacon's apartment in the morning to prevent her mother from figuring out that she wasn't in her house.
Oh, yeah. Because I guess they have a morning call routine.
I mean, how weird is this? Like, she's an adult person. Okay.
What she tries to say, she's like, I'm 28 years old and whatever. And she's like,
Yeah, her mom's at her apartment when she gets home.
She's like, I'm 54. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, and then she's like, I had sex, mommy.
Right.
It's such a weird conversation.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was a very weirdly written scene.
Yeah.
And she's like she says, the dirty kind.
Yeah.
And then Olympia Dukakis is like, okay, no more of that, and she hugs her and everything. She's crying and stuff. She goes, now tell me the truth.
Yeah, because she doesn't believe she got laid.
I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
The whole thing's weird.
So then she lies to her.
And says that Jay Moore is her life mate.
Yeah. Which, it's all working out fine. Her mom's happy, work's happy, but then they want to meet him.
Well, after he becomes a hero for saving a child and is all over the news, yeah, they're like, we want to meet this hero.
So she goes to him and offers him $1,000 to pretend to be her fiance and break up with her.
Yeah.
Which, like, he's not a prostitute. He's not a male escort.
Yeah.
It seems a little weird. And he listens to all that. And then he's just like, I was actually planning to get your number and call you and ask you out on a date, so I will happily go have dinner with you and your friends. Mm-hmm. You don't need to pay me.
But she's like, no, I'm going to pay you because this is a business transaction. And you need to get in a fight with me that makes you look like a complete asshole.
So he comes to stay with her. And, like, she treats him like absolute garbage the entire time.
It's funny because she's supposed to be the hero, I guess, of the movie.
I think he's the hero of the movie.
But she really is. Because she gives him this dossier on herself. Mm-hmm. Learn all this shit about me and everything. And then at one point he goes, what about me? And she's like, what do you mean? He goes, don't you think that you should learn some stuff about me? And she's like... oh, you're not getting it. This is the made-up you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know anything about you. I just made you up. You can just be this made-up person.
It's awful. And, like, when he's just gotten there, she leaves him for hours because Kevin Bacon's all upset and calls her and, like, wants to meet for a drink. She says she'll be gone an hour, and she just leaves him forever.
Yeah.
To the point that he comes and tracks her down.
Yeah.
and finds her with Kevin Bacon all drunk.
It's funny because they try to make Kevin Bacon a nice guy, too.
Do they?
I mean, sort of, because, like, as he points out, the second time they have sex, she's asleep. And he's talking. He doesn't know she's sleeping. And so we just get to hear it. And he basically says that he only dates women that are married or have boyfriends because it's easier for him because he knows, no commitments and stuff like that, which is a fucking shitty thing to do. Mm-hmm. But what?
It's
whoa, wait a second. Why is that okay?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying it's not a fucking shitty thing to do for him because that's what he wants. I mean, like, he wants no commitment, and obviously these women who he's sleeping with don't care. So I don't know that it's a shitty thing. It's a shitty thing these women are doing to their men. I don't think that he's shitty.
You could make it. You could make an argument, I guess, one way or the other. But anyway, I don't think it's nice to facilitate affairs either.
Okay.
To be the cheater or the cheatee or whatever. But anyway, so he tells her that he likes that when they're together, it's like she's not engaged because she's not.
Right.
She hasn't even proposed this idea to Jay Moore yet at this point. And that it's like it's just them, and he likes that and everything. He finds out she's asleep. He's like, okay, my reputation's intact or whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
And he, like, at one point he's kind of actively rooting for their relationship and stuff too. So like they really make him like kind of a nice character too.
He's a fine character, I guess. I mean, it seems like, to me, he just seems slimy because he only wants her once she's engaged.
Yeah, I guess.
And he didn't seem that great otherwise.
Yeah, well, he's also not attractive to you, so that makes a huge difference, I'm sure.
I guess.
So, she lands the big mustard account. And, the one guy from the mustard company, the one owner of the mustard company, comes up with just a great advertising campaign where there's a model, doesn't have to be nude because of the way that they would show her around.
This is awful.
Around the bottle or whatever. I'll leave that up to the experts, he says. But it would be implied that she's nude. You just can't see any of her parts because they're covered up by the bottle.
Bowl of mustard.
Yeah, the bowl of mustard. And it just says, whatever, Goodens or whatever the fuck the name of the mustard's called. Yeah. Spread it.
It's awful. Awful.
One of the most fucking suggestive, that would not make me want to eat mustard.
No. Not at all.
Equating it with what comes from your nether regions. Yeah, that's not something I want to slather on my hamburger.
No. Yuck. So, they're going through all this.
I'm surprised that he didn't suggest there be a hot dog somewhere in that commercial either.
That makes sense.
Oh my God.
So, like I said, the whole time she treats him like crap. Doesn't care about him.
Yeah.
And then it's time for them to go to this dinner and break up. And he's like, I don't want to break up.
He's like, I could just come down every weekend.
Like you're already telling people.
And we could just see where it goes. You could always break up with me whenever.
Right. She's like, no, absolutely not. We got to do it now. And then, he's trying to fight against it. And she's written a fucking script. She's, crazy. Yeah. And she is so desperate to make this happen. She goes and asks the maitre d' to call her on her cell phone. Mm-hmm. And then pretends that it's some woman he's been cheating on her with.
Oh, that's how you know she's fancy, by the way. She's got one of those big cell phones.
Right. I don't know how that purse contained that big phone. And, she ends up yelling at him about that, and, they break up that way. Mm-hmm. And then he finally gives her the performance she wanted, and he's like, yeah, it's just because, you have a mistress, too. It's all about your work, and,
right.
Trying to make it, what she wanted it to be.
But he portrays himself as a complete asshole.
Yeah.
For her.
Yeah.
And it's they all thought he was a hero and stuff, and it's it's really shitty to do that to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could have broken up under different circumstances later, like he said.
So then her and Kevin Bacon are together. And she says that she broke it off, and he's like, all of a sudden he's pulling back.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck? And she's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm leaving, or whatever. And she goes to leave, and he elbows her in the eye on accident.
I know what that's like. He did the same fucking thing to me once.
Yeah, we weren't at the door, but yeah.
No, but he elbowed me in the eye, and I got a fucking bone spur that it took forever to go away.
It's like a chip came out of your orbital bone.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, it was a
Very
bad
painful.
accident. But yeah, and people thought like, oh hey, if you need some help, you can always let us know.
Well, and in the movie, when her boss sees what happened, he's like, "This guy is out of your life, right? Like, I hope you understand that none of us want to see him again ever." Like,
right. Yeah, and it's like it's weird because that I thought more was going to come out of that, but
why?
I don't know. Just I thought more was going to come out of. I don't understand why they needed her to get elbowed, because after the performance at the restaurant, I think their reaction could be the same, and it would be believable. So I
guess. I mean, one guy said, it's one thing when the girl, it's one thing when you're married, but it's another thing when you're single to cheat.
Yeah.
So I mean, it sounds like they might not be so judgmental on the cheating.
I guess.
But
yeah, so they absolutely hate him now.
Yeah. But then, he redeems himself to her. Because, again, she talked about herself and told him a story from her childhood about how her dad got her this Cinderella watch and that she knew that was special, and then her dad left and that she wished she'd taken better care of it, so she still had it. So he left her the $1,000 in an envelope with the Cinderella watch.
Right. So now all of a sudden she decides I should be a nice person. Yeah.
So she sees it in this moment when she's at work with these people, and she's just tells them the truth, and she's like, I'm going to go clean out my office, and her boss doesn't fire her. So I guess he's a nice guy because he doesn't fire her.
Well, her boss is like, why don't you take the next couple days off? He's going to keep her on the ad campaign. She gets everything she wants.
Yeah.
He's like, why don't you take the next couple days off? Maybe go up to Massachusetts, which is where Jay Moore lives. And so he's, I
mean, that's nice.
Yeah, and I suppose that's what he's trying to do. Like I said, to me, the two characters are not the same person. I don't know if it's just because he got to know her better or what. I mean, she still is. And that's the thing, is having a relationship like that, to me, that could be more of a distraction.
Yeah.
It seemed like she was better focused in work when she didn't have any of this going on. So, I don't know. Just his whole argument makes no sense to me. But she does go and ruin somebody else's wedding.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. And nobody would react, like you said. Nobody would react like that.
She comes into the wedding to talk to him, and he's like, get out of here. I don't want to talk to you. I'm working. And the preacher gets to the, does anyone have any objections thing? And she just screams no. Because she's telling Jay Moore no.
Yeah.
But everyone looks at her. The actor and the actress that were the couple getting married, I thought did a really good job. Because it's understated performance was really funny. Where she's just like, is there anything you want to tell me, Daniel? And he's like, I've never seen that woman before in my life. I don't think.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
And, so she goes and talks to Jay Moore, and they're all listening and everything. The whole wedding ceremony's paused while they're listening to their conversation. The thing to me is, she still doesn't know anything about this dude.
Yeah.
They could... So I don't know why she loves him so much other than the stories she's heard. I mean, he has been super nice to her.
Yeah, he's been super nice and accommodating. He got on the phone and had that nice conversation with her mom. And...
Right. But, they could go out on their first date and he could be like, oh, I am a member of the White Nationalist Party.
Or I'm into, bondage.
He is blonde-haired and blue-eyed. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that they'll work out because, that's what we're supposed to believe.
Right. And I guess she gets everything she wants.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, too, because it's like she gives in her little impassioned speech where she says, like, I think I didn't believe in my talent enough or whatever, that my talent wasn't worth as much as living the life everyone thought I should live in this little box with the marriage and the kids and the house and stuff like that. Like, she was kind of rebelling against that in her little speech. But she's going towards that anyway.
Yeah.
It's weird, and I mean, I guess I don't know. Most people did go that way: the marriage, the kids, the house, and stuff like that, which is fine. And some people don't, which is also fine. Everyone can do what they want to do. I think most of us have an innate drive to create a family and that kind of stuff. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And the people that don't have that drive and don't want to do that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
Kevin Bacon.
Right. But it's weird because the movie seems to be presenting Jennifer Aniston in the way of, like, I am rebelling against this. This isn't what I want to be. But then she ends up going towards it anyway. So it's like, I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I mean, when the movie starts, she's like, I'm just going to be single and blah, 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 blah. And, like...
Oh, because she goes on a date, a blind date with somebody Olympia Dukakis set her up with.
Yeah.
And they're making out in her apartment. This is how we were introduced to this character, by the way. They're making out in her apartment, and he says, like, hey, we don't need a condom because I've been tested negative for everything, and I got really good control.
And she just kicks him out. She's like,
right.
Okay, we're done. Get out. Mm-hmm. And so then she's about she's going to be single, which, like, I think every woman goes there at some point when, like, things aren't working out. So I don't know that she's necessarily, like, for her whole life been like, oh, I'm not going to do that stuff. I think she's just feeling disillusioned.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know what the movie's point of view on this stuff is. It's muddled.
Okay.
So I liked the movie in general. I do think that there are some things like that where it could have been a brighter through line, a more vibrant, we're taking a stand on something.
Okay.
I'd love to see a romantic comedy where the ultimate conclusion and thought process is I don't need this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I don't need a husband. I don't need the family. I don't need the stuff to feel whole as a person. I don't know exactly how you write that artfully to where it works out in the end, to where it's a satisfying conclusion for the audience. But I'd love to see one that takes that hard stance on a different type of person, because so many romantic comedies are populated by people who want the marriage and the kids and all that stuff, which, like I said, I think is probably the majority of the population, and that's cool. But I think the other people should get their romantic comedy too.
Yeah.
And I don't, like I said, I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I just don't. I think this movie flirted with ideas of that, but didn't fully go there.
Yeah, I can see that, especially like with him being a wedding videographer and stuff. There was, something there too. Like,
yeah. So I just that would be, if I had a complaint about the movie, that would be my one complaint. Other than that, it was funny. I laughed several times, and it was engaging, and the acting did a lot. Jay Moore has never been my favorite actor in the world. I don't dislike him or anything, but he was very charming in this, and obviously Jennifer Aniston's always very charming.
Right. She is. I love her.
And, Kevin Bacon acts through his nose, and it's okay. Kevin Bacon, we love you, okay? It's no offense to you.
So, yeah, I think it's...
a fine actor. I mean, you've got to be a great actor to overcome that.
Right. But no, I think it's a movie worth seeing, for sure. You could wait for it to come out, because it's not...
Yeah, I mean...
It's not, like, enhanced by being seen on the big screen, but it's a good movie. It's worth seeing.
I think it's worth going to the theater to see it. I agree with you. I don't think that, you need to, but I think it's... If you're looking for a fun date night for you and your significant other, I think it's a good one to go to. But that, Carol, Yawning Carol is the episode.
So you can write us at latefee1994@aol.com. Let us know your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
You can check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.